In this week's code cookie, we go from this kind of PDF form to this kind of Zervicepoint form. And for this to work, you need to have Zervicepoint, of course. You need to have a PDF form with Acro Fields, and you need to have the PDF automated plugin. So buy that from us and give us money. In this week's code cookie, we'll create a service in Zervicepoint from a PDF document. So we are digitalizing a digital document and putting it in Zervicepoint so you can add your workflow to it instead of having to print this form and fill it out, sign it, and post it by traditional mail, snail mail to the county of Skåne. So this form here is for registering new security guards for your security guard firm. And in Skåne, you're required to fill this out in order to register new ones and send it in. So I located this PDF from their website and I've downloaded to ctemp, and I called the document 123. So that's the first component. The second component we need is the PDF automator plugin from our product catalog. And I'm going to show you a way of working around this, how you can, which will give you a very good starting point to digitalize documents like these. So what I do is I go into my Zervicepoint installation and I create an empty service. I just call it PDF Digitalizer. And then I'm going to use our plugin for PDF automation. And I'm going to use this activity called import Zervicepoint service from PDF beta. And it's in beta still, but it actually works quite well. That's the trick. I'm going to call the service register new security guards. And what do we want here? Well, we need to point on the PDF that we want to digitalize. And this is where I saved it when I downloaded it. And I want to have an output path as well. So and the output path is where the filled out PDFs will be saved. I'm going to write like that. We can set a culture here as well. I'm going to leave it on default, which is English. We can say that we want to delete the files after they have filled them out and we are done with them. But I'm just going to leave it at default, which is not to delete them. I'm saving this. I'm going to go to our newly created service, and we don't have any form because we have just static values here. And this service is just to create the other services from the PDF that we like. There you go. So now we placed the order. So what happens now is that Zervicepoint will look through this PDF and look for Acro Fields. And Acro Fields in the world of PDF are fields like this that you can click on if you open them and on the computer, and you can fill them out. So the PDF technology mainly uses two types of fields that you can fill out this way, and one of them are Acro Fields, and the other one is some kind of XML definition. And this plugin has support for the Acro Fields so far. And there's a way where you can check this using the plugin as well. But we'll go in here and we check our activity feed. We have an ongoing order here. I see that I can terminate the order I tested before. And we have this running. So if I check my share processes now, I should have a share processed because this activity will create a share process with a form and a workflow, and then link a service to it. So if I check shared processes, I can see that we have this register new security guard. That's the name we defined. The identifier will just be a random number. And if I look on that, we can see that we have, okay, so we have a ton of fields here. Let's have a look in the user web first. Guards. Okay, so what are we looking at? First, we get some metadata from the document itself, and it says auto-generated here. And of course, we can change everything here, but this can sometimes contain some useful information, perhaps. And we also have all these fields are represented here, and we simply use the anchor name of the Acro field. So here we have num or name followed by 2, and that will be the second time name appears in the form. So this is the first time, and this is the second time. So this field correlates with this field. So I don't like the way this looks, so we need to fix it a bit. And I can basically see 2 form sections here. So I'm just going to mimic the form for now. Company information, and I'm going to put that in here. And everything is in Swedish now, but I can of course translate that afterwards. Email was in there as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 6 fields here as well. Let's fix the size. Was just kind of mimicking how it looks in the PDF. We can save a quick look, and it will probably already look nicer. Well, it does. I like that. We can also go even further and say we take a line break here. We take a line break here. And we save. Have a look again. Okay, so now it looks even more like the one we had before, and maybe we don't even like that one, but for the sake of this exercise, I will just kind of mimic it. And the next form session here was the new registered guards guard information. So we have a name for the first one. Second one, let's take a line break immediately here, and let's make both of them large. A bit of clicking here now. Click, click, click. Large, line break. And, whoops. Perhaps you can fast forward the video here if you like, but or if you enjoy watching me clicking, you can just watch it in regular speed. It's very rewarding. No. Well, yes. Okay, let's have a quick look. See what I forgot. Okay, this should be large as well. Okay, so if we look at what Zervicepoint have created for me now, it's basically these fields, and they're all bound to variables. If I check the workflow, it will actually map all the fields to the variables in the form and create a variable called PDF input data. And it will then create a PDF output file path. And I will actually remove my username from the file path. And it will then save the PDF and send the email to a requester. I can send it to my mail instead. I'm just going to test the workflow now. guard 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Guard 2. Let's do this as fast as possible. And we could put validation here as well. There. Okay. And why not remove this as well? And the description is in the service. So if we leave the shared process, we go to the service, we have the description here. I'm just going to remove that. And let's copy this one. That's the description from the document. So I'm putting it there. And have I gotten any emails yet? No. Did I have any errors? No errors. Let's have a look on the template drive. Okay, so it have created a PDF document for me. I can have a look here. I'm looking at the output path now that I specified in the parameters. And we can see that it filled out the form for me. So that's good. Refresh here. We have our description. And the bottom fields here are to clarify your name. So that's for signature. Okay, so you're supposed to put a signature here. So what I would do in the next step is probably to add a bank ID signing, so you can electronically sign the document without having to print it. So to really make this actual digital process. But this is basically how you do it, and it's a good way of working. And you can now start adding validation to the fields to verify the Swedish social security numbers and the address and stuff like that. And you can really ensure that the data that goes into the service is correct. So hope that this has inspired you to try this out, and maybe you could find a way to implement it in your own workflows. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.